This business is about action. You can have every dream that you want. You can have a supportive spouse or not have a supportive spouse. You have to take action. If you are just a dreamer, call yourself a dreamer, but you're not a doer.
Wow.
If you're going to be successful, you have to be a doer.
Realtors are heroes. Heroes to their clients, heroes to their vendors, and heroes to the communities they serve. And as any good hero would have it, they're always facing existential threats. The fourth quarter of 2022, realtors were in the beginning phases of one of the biggest challenges they would face in over a decade. So we decided to host our first event called The Shift. We invited some of the most successful real estate agents in the industry to share their roadmaps to success. If you are a realtor, you are a hero. The wisdom you're about to receive in this next hour has not only taken decades to acquire, but if applied, will keep you from ever having to hang up that cape. Chris Williams is one of the kindest human beings that just happens to be a realtor. Being around her, you can't help but feel the feeling of warmth, nurture, and care that comes from a mother, the listening ear and attention to detail, and the support that comes from a friend, and the sacrificial love and kindness that comes from someone who loves to serve others. Hey Chris, how are you? Good to see you. Awesome. Good to see you.
Come in out of the cold.
Yeah. Over the past 40 years, she has become the dominating agent in her farm area, making her one of RE/MAX's top 50 agents nationwide. How? By being kind. Guys, she has articles written about her because she goes around the public sidewalks of Northridge, California, pulling the weeds from the ground and picking up the trash. I'm very excited for you to hear and learn from the story of the real estate sweetheart. Yeah, so, well, first of all, thank you, Chris, for letting us,
Of course.
come. And I mean, this is your home.
It is my home. Had I known we were going to be in this room, I would have done a few more things. Oh, wow.
That looks beautiful, though. But you know what I love about your approach when it comes to business? You blend your family with business, with friends. Everyone is like part of your family.
It kind of is one big happy family. There's no lines drawn per se.
And the reason I say that is because some realtors are like, I would never invite people to my house. And then here you are every year for 19 years bringing 500 people through your house, you know? And some of them can be total strangers because, you know, sometimes it's going to be a friend of a friend of a friend. So to you, you've never met them before.
It's true.
But you do this.
I think that everybody has their own style. There are people that have just a business page and they want business to be business. And they want their personal to be personal. And if they're playing or they have a hobby, they want that to be separate. I'm not. Everything is all smushed together. And the toy drive that I'm having this year, you know, I'd gladly put my address on it. And I'm jumping for joy with each person that drops a toy off for kids that don't have Christmas. And I know there are people that say, oh my gosh, you're putting your address out there? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. What? I don't have anything. I don't feel like I need protection. I don't have anything to hide. I'm thrilled to be a part of the community, and I'm more thrilled this time of year to be collecting gifts for kids that they're not going to have a gift if somebody doesn't go above and beyond. So I'm piggybacking it with our church, and I'm just thrilled. So the letter went out yesterday, and already 2 or 3 people have stopped by. So
that's awesome. So
yeah, it's great.
You've been doing this for how many years?
I have been licensed since 1978, so it's 44 years. I think the clock is just about to turn to 45 years, which I can't even believe because I don't even feel 45. How can I be doing this for 45 years?
But the crazy thing to me is that you've built a business upon just being a nice person. Just what I call it, because I was having this conversation with Gabby, my wife, and you know, she refers to you as the real estate sweetheart.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She's the real estate sweetheart. Like she's like just captured people's hearts, you know, and people love her, they adore her because she's just a good friend. She's there for you. You know, she goes above and beyond, like she's selfless, you know. So you've reached this level of success, but you've built it upon this business model, if you will.
And it's interesting because I know there are people, one of them that's in the other room right now, that would very much like me to have a different business model now. But it works, and it makes me so happy.
Allan, can we ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, come on, Chris. Okay, come, Chris. So this is, and through the years, he's even gotten to be my friend. But come, Chris.
Okay, sure.
So because I think one thing that I think is important for this business model, guys. Like, okay, like I said, she pretty much turned being nice, there for you, opening your house, throwing events, basically being the community person. And she's built a very successful business, guys. Northridge is it's like a suburb here in California. So the city of Northridge has homes, medium price point, how much?
$850
But $850 lower end.
is the low end. Yeah, the average is probably $1 million to $1,250,000.
Okay, $1,250,000. In this area, she is the number one agent and has been for the past decades. But the reason I bring you into this, Allan, is because this creates a lot of work. Why don't you tell us, as from like a spouse's perspective, how this business model impacts you?
Well, I mean, I'm very proud of her, obviously. And what she didn't tell you, we got an email yesterday saying she's number 58 in the nation for remands.
No way, that's awesome.
Out of 58 out of 60,000 some agents. Chris does it all on her own.
Yeah.
She does her DTRs, she does all of her marketing, she does the listing, she does everything. You walk through an office and say, well, this desk does this desk. Well, Chris does it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but you have actually, and that's why I ask you, because you have been a big help.
oh yeah.
She says,
Hey,
staging.
I used to pray for her, now I pray to her.
But what I was saying, okay, and this is the reason I say this, guys, is because I know that there are people watching that are where she was when she first started doing this kind of stuff. And she's like, oh my gosh, like, I have this idea because I'm just this nicest, I love to serve people. I love to help people. I want to host an event. I want to do a garage sale. What is that called? The
Garage sale extravaganza.
Okay, the garage sale extravaganza. Or I want to host a Christmas party and invite my community or something along those lines. Right. Maybe one of the barriers is like, well, how is my spouse going to react? Like, are they going to support me? Would you have any advice to maybe on how to pitch this idea to them?
Well, yeah, good question. Very good question. I mean, for years and years it was, but this is 40 some years in now, and it's like, and we had two different businesses. I was doing my insurance business. So what I would say is, Chris is Wonder Woman. I'm always wondering, what are we doing next? These are dad jokes, by the way.
Allan supports me in everything I do. And he is the backbone for support and giving me the leeway to bring my ideas to fruition. And so very rarely does he say no. He usually says yes, and he wakes up early and he goes to bed late, and he helps me do all the details that make this possible. If he fought me on having parties and having events and opening our home, it would never work. It has to be a partnership. Both people have to agree. And let's face it, it's great fun. It's very festive. I'm speaking specifically of the party, but it's a tremendous amount of work. But the offset is it's a tremendous amount of significance and memory making. And, little kids on my front porch, literally Halloween, 4 or 5 years old, saying, are you having your Christmas party this year? I mean, that's just a powerful thing to be building memories for little kids.
And not only that, the juice is worth the squeeze, because anytime she has a party, and it's just a layer, another layer of paint, another layer of paint. But every time she has a party or something like she's doing a toy drive right now, it brings listings. Even though I complain, it's, I haven't complained all along, but just recently but it brings business.
Well, and that's exactly what I was going to say. And I love that you always say this is juice is worth, what did you say?
The squeeze.
The juice is worth the squeeze. The juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah, because it brings business.
And that was my next question is it worth it?
Oh yeah. I mean, to what we've been able to do for our children, helping them get in homes, and what we've been able to do for each other in our business of owning homes. And it really is. And we have vacation homes and stuff like that. So I mean, it's hard to complain, but
Allan, top three advice that you have for the spouse of a real estate agent that is thinking about following this business model, that is thinking about hosting events, that's thinking about doing so. Advice to the realtor that has a spouse and advice to the spouse.
I'd say the main thing is that you need to be on board. I'm on board, so, and I trust her, and she's become an amazing businesswoman. The advice that she gives them, we'll be sitting in her office, which is our dining room, and I'll hear her talking to people, and I'll be thinking, this is amazing advice that she's giving these people, that over, her 42-year, 44-year overnight success has really come to fruition. I mean, I'm very proud of her.
You guys are making me cry over here, man. This is great.
No
wow,
crying.
This is great. No, but this is great. And this
You
is
guys bring
exactly.
some tissue in.
I know. Well, this is exactly who I want to inspire. I bet you people are crying right now listening to you speak. I'm not even kidding, because
sure.
I'm just imagining, a lady in her, living room, wherever you're watching this, thinking, I know I see it. I've seen other people do it. I've seen other people be successful in it. I just need that bit of advice, and I need somebody to tell me, well, how can I speak to my spouse? Is it going to be okay? Like, when you see the end result, then you can say, well, the juice is worth the squeeze.
Right.
So yes, I am going to pursue this, or yes, I am going to do that. So this is great.
It's really hard not to quit, because it's a tough business. It's a very fair business. I mean, you look at women, how they always say, well, women, they don't have the chances. Women do amazing in this business because it's a fair business, but it's tough. Yeah. And you have to stay at it and stay with it.
I love how Allan here doesn't sugarcoat it at all. It's a tough business, but it's a fair business. This is exactly why many are on the fence, either in the beginning of their real estate career or as a realtor implementing another revenue stream within their business. If I throw myself out there, if I invest the time, my resources, my energy, my money, get my family on board, will it be worth it? Chris's tenacity has definitely paid off. So yeah, I would say the juice is worth the squeeze.
What I would say to that, though, Pablo, is that this business is about action. You can have every dream that you want. You can have a supportive spouse or not have a supportive spouse. But if you don't take the risk, I remember the first Christmas party we had, about 12 people came. 12 people. I made all the food myself.
Wow.
I had no idea what I was doing, but I knew I wanted to do a Christmas party. And it started with 10, 12, 15 people, and the next year was bigger. And it's not about being bigger, it's about people attending and having fun and making connections. But you have to take action. If you are just a dreamer, call yourself a dreamer, but you're not a doer.
Wow.
If you're going to be successful, you have to be a doer. And you have to kind of put your neck out there. You don't know. You don't know how it's going to be received. You don't know really what the complete cost is going to be. You can calculate it. You can have an idea, but go do something that's not just good for you, but good for a lot of people. And the results will amaze you. Absolutely amaze you.
Wow, that's such good advice, man. I think that's so great, because a lot of people, we go to the conferences, we watch videos like these, we get these amazing ideas, but then we don't implement them. So,
Nope.
And it can either be, scared to fail, or maybe, but I don't have the supportive husband, but I don't have this kind of budget, but I don't have that kind of thing, so it's like we excuse ourselves out
Can
of.
I just say he's leaving because he doesn't want to be interviewed? He's very
Look at him,
supportive.
Brittany, look at him over there.
He's leaving. That way he knows he won't get roped into anything.
I hope you're enjoying the show. We're going to have to take a little pause here for me to talk to you about Home Sweet Home Productions. Whether you're listing a $200,000 condo or you're listing a $50 million house, we have the experience to help you create the content that your property deserves. So whether it's photography, videography, whatever you may need to help you market your home, you know Home Sweet Home has you covered. We want you to rest assured that when you go into a listing presentation, you're gonna know that you have a team that has the experience to help you create the content that you're gonna need to create in order to market this home. With over 10 years of experience, we believe that we can be a very valuable part of your team. So yeah, guys, Home Sweet Home Productions is the one that is sponsoring this entire show. I hope that you would support us there. Let's get back to the show. I was at a conference and I had heard somebody say that women do exceptionally well in real estate because of their sixth sense, you know, so because of their ability to listen, you know, just things that innately come natural to women, you know, emotional support. They're able to, you know, empathize with people. I feel like this episode's kind of gearing more towards women, you know, I mean, men can watch it too, you know, but I feel, you know what I think we're doing here, Chris? I think we're inspiring women to really just get out there, you know, to say, if you have an idea for this event, throw it. If you have an idea, if you get this inclination, like I imagine my wife, right? And we have four beautiful children. And so randomly, just out of nowhere, she starts getting ideas for them. Oh, maybe I should do this for them or do that for them. And then she does it. And then the result of that is a closer relationship. Does that happen to you? Do you all of a sudden think of a need that your client has, maybe hasn't even expressed it to you, but then is like, well, I'm going to step it up and I'm going to go and I'm going to help them. I'm going to be part of the solution, just like I would to my own children.
Right. Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm always thinking of ways. I like to surprise my clients. I like to just solve a problem before they even know that they have one. Not overstep my bounds, but, you know, trash cans is one. Calling their bulky item pickup and telling them that they can do it for free. They don't have to call a 1-800-JUNK. Surprising them with gifts on their front porch. Pumpkins, poinsettias, the American flags. I have clients that love toads and elephants, and when I see something, I'll pick it up for them, and it's just fun. You know, the same way that we like to be surprised or we like to be remembered.
When I think of farming, it's really relationship building. As long as it takes to plant a little seed, you can put that seed in the ground and hopefully your ground is good soil. But if you don't tend to it and water it regularly, you got a dead seed. You don't have anything. So that's not a farmer. A farmer is somebody that regularly tends and does it when it's not convenient. And for me, it's just relationship building, day in, day out. And I do that. I live in my farm. And I farm 1,000 homes. And I'm not a big believer in mass mailing, but what I do is community events. I, for 19 years, have hosted a huge Christmas party, which many past clients and neighbors come to, hundreds and hundreds. I do a shred event. I do a lot of community cleanup where we go out and we haul and bag and remove graffiti and just make a difference, and an annual neighborhood garage sale. Now, do I love to do garage sales? No. Do I love to put up 200 signs at 5 a.m? No. But it makes my phone ring. And I'm a big believer in giving service. I'm constantly looking for ways to make my clients need me and want me and be attracted to me. So it's not just doing something one time. It's doing it year after year after year.
How many years have you been doing events?
19 years.
Okay, so 19 years. In all of the 19 years, have you ever done an event where you can say that just wasn't worth it financially or in any other area?
Never. No, never. I'm amazed. In fact, literally an hour before you got here, somebody that came to my shred event who happens to, and the shred event is where you hire the truck, you ask all your clients and neighbors to bring all their paper items that need to be shredded. He's an agent, but he doesn't specialize in residential per se. He called an hour ago and said, Chris, I have this lead for you in this city. Are you game? I'm like, heck yeah. he came to my shred event.
Wow.
And so you just don't know what seed you're going to plant that's going to lead to something else.
So you're saying for the 19 years, there has even at the very first one to the latest one that you've done, all of them have brought a listing to you.
All of them have generated tremendous business, tremendous. Because people also want to see, are you in this to win it? Or are you going to be moving on to another career soon? I think on a weekly basis, the number of mailers that I receive from every trade that you could imagine, movers, termite, stagers, agents, any subcontractor that you can think of. And I promise you, in 6 months, they're not going to be sending out mailers because they're not going to be in business. So you have to be in it to win it. You have to start it and you have to finish it. And you have to attract, not just promote. Promote is one thing, but you want to attract people to you. And the 2 leads that I got today was just complete attraction. Very, very little promotion of myself, my brand. It's just people reaching out through word of mouth. Oh, I heard that you did a really good job for so-and-so. Are you willing to take this listing on? Yeah, I'm willing. I'm going to see you at 5 today. And I've got the contract ready to go.
Kindness is the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. It often looks like meeting others' needs before our own. The more we operate from this place, the more it begins to shape our character. Our character, which is who we are, begins to be attractive to the people that surround us. They don't see us as someone who wants to take from them, but someone who wants to give. I love Chris's approach. She would rather people see her actions speak louder than any mailers could. People are drawn to kind people, which is why I'm beginning to understand why kindness makes a pretty great marketing strategy. So your first one. Okay, let's talk about your very first event. What was your budget? Like, how much did you end up spending? And what was the amount of work that went into it? Your very first event.
I think my first event was the first Christmas party. Okay. And I had no idea what I was doing. I said, come sing Christmas carolers. And I have hot chocolate. And by the way, I'll give you some food.
Okay, so you had Christmas carolers.
No, I didn't have them. I just thought if people come, we'd sing. I don't have Christmas carolers. Who am I going to hire?
I don't have the budget for that right now.
No, that's budget. Good. I just thought it would be fun and hot chocolate.
That's good. Okay. So, all right. So then, so far what you have to cough up is the hot chocolate, and you said food.
And food. So I did have food.
Okay. So hot chocolate and food.
Right. And we were going to sing songs. And Santa was there. It was Allan dressed in a Santa suit. He's a little guy. He doesn't look real good in a Santa suit because it fills up his whole body. That's why he left. That's why he left. He was probably afraid he was going to be recruited.
That's why he left. Oh, man. Okay.
But had I stopped at the first event, let's just face it, it was not a success. However, a client did come. She became a client and I sold her home a few years later. But had I stopped at the first event because it was really not very good, I would never have known what it could have grown into.
Wow, that's so good. Man,
and by year 3, we had hundreds and hundreds of people, so much so that we ran out of food about 2 hours in.
Okay. So this is so good. Okay.
Because people don't RSVP. I don't know how many are coming.
Okay, so first year, you said 12 people came. Financially, you probably spent what?
$200.
$200. Okay. By your standards, it wasn't that good of an event.
No.
But if I were to interview those people and I were to say, how was Chris's first event? They would say it was amazing.
They wouldn't say that.
Really?
No. We're looking around thinking, are people going to come? I'm looking down the walkway thinking, I see no people. Like, why did I do this? I will be so embarrassed if people know that it was so incredibly teeny tiny. So
yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't say that. I'm sure they would say,
but
I'm glad I was there.
When you have some energy, and it's kind of nice when you have attendance. It doesn't have to be massive, but like 30 or 40 people would have been really nice.
Okay, so your second year, was it 30 or 40?
Second year, actually that was kind of a blur. I don't remember, but I remember the third year. The third year was like Halloween. It was just a steady stream of people all day. and all night long.
Okay, so steady, slow people. So third year, did you see listings come out of that quicker in the third year?
No, I was still planting seeds. You got to give long before you take. You've got to give
Yeah.
and give and give.
And I think that's a good thing to say, because I think that's, we don't want to like say, yeah, host your first event and then expect to get a listing 2 months down the road.
Mm-mm.
So what are you telling us?
So I'm telling you that real estate is the long game. It's not the short game. When I first got in, farming was what I did, and that was great. And then I had my kids. I was very, I was focused on my family, not on real estate. When my youngest started kindergarten, when I was up on that roof, is when a new chapter started. I thought, if I do this action, I'm going to get listings. It doesn't work that way. You are planting a seed, and you have to earn it and earn it and earn it and earn it, and prove that in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, you're still going to be at it, and that you're going to be improving every year.
Years ago, I used to think, I just want to talk more. I want to show them what I can do. I want to show them what I've done. That's not my approach anymore. I listen. I really, really listen, not just to what they're saying, but to what they're not telling me. People like to see workers. They really like to see kind of the old-fashioned way of roll my sleeves up and I get dirty. I don't have a team of 10 people. I'm not the slick person with the spiel up front, and then you never hear from me again. Or I was excited to start, but not excited to finish.
Whereas Home Sweet Home Productions exists to create content for your properties that you list, Create LA exists to create content for you as a real estate agent. Anything from brand videos to campaigns that you want to do on social media, or even social media management, Create LA not only has the experience, but has the creativity to be able to help you brand yourself. Give us a call today and let Create LA take your brand to the next level.
After one of the Christmas parties, a friend had used our bathroom, and he called me after the party. He's a really good friend, and all he does is antiques and sterling silver. He said, "Chris, do you realize that silver set you had out on your bathroom, it's all sterling silver and it's worth a fortune?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know it was sterling. The client gave it to me. That's so sweet. No, I didn't know that." He said, "Did anything go missing?" I said, "Nothing." So here, these things are out on the counter, and the only thing he could think of is, with all those people in your home, something's going to go MIA. Nothing. It's the risk, I think, of just opening up and not knowing the end result.
I'll tell you what, though, it takes a specific kind of person to be able to trust that much.
Sure.
And to say, well, nothing's going to happen. Not only that, but to have your spouse on board.
Sure.
But the juice is worth the squeeze.
The juice is worth the squeeze. It is. And, it's a process. If you're here in your life and you want to be somewhere else, if you keep taking the same action that led you to where you are, then you're going to stay there. But if you want to be at a different, better location, the only way to do it, the only way, is to always be growing and to take that risk. And it's scary. Oh my gosh, it's scary. Because you don't know the outcome, and you know how much work it is. I know full well how much work it is. It's like putting on a mini wedding every year. But it's so worth it, and all the events are worth it.
So you said when you first started, you were farming. Specifically, what do you mean by farming? Door knocking?
I was door knocking and passing out flyers.
Okay.
I'd pass out whatever I could that was cheap.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong here. You did the door knocking and the farming, and then you had children. Mm-hmm. Was that how it went? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you were up on the roof and you said, "No, I got to take this business more seriously." Did you go back to door knocking?
I did. Okay. I did. Every day. I was possessed. I was so single-minded that I had to claim some territory for my own. I had to make a name for myself.
You started in this area?
I did. And no one was going to do it for me. I remember Keith at the time saying, "Chris, I'm going to do whatever I can do to help you dominate this area." I'm like, great, but what exactly are you going to do for me? You're going to put my shoes on? You're going to give me a little pat on the back and send me with a hot drink or a cold drink to, no. It means that I'm going to support you when you have good days and bad days, but the work that is mine to do. It's up to the individual agent to want it so bad. I mean, I was literally yesterday and the day before passing out flyers in the drizzle and happy as one could be. Just like I get to see all these homes. I see who's doing remodeling. I'm connecting with so many people.
Yeah.
And, but it's the work.
Yeah.
You don't rise to a level
Yeah.
of saying that's beneath me. Nothing is beneath you.
How long did you do that for, or do you still door knock? Like, I'm talking about like how you did when you first started, where you're like, every single day, this is part of just my schedule. I'm going to go door knock. How many years did you do that for? Like that regimented?
I would say that I have door knocked probably for the first 7 to 10 years where it was on a schedule. What happens then is that once you start getting busy and once you start getting listings, it's a lot of work and a lot of details and a lot of being available. But last night I had a showing 5 minutes from here, and I went prepared with my flyers and my calendars. And I said, if he's late, I'm going to be door knocking all around my listing. If he was 30 minutes late, I got 34 homes in. And so
Awesome. Yeah.
you don't stop.
Right.
You just keep going.
You're saying 10 years of doing that led you to this place where now your phone just rings.
My phone
Right?
just rings.
Your phone just rings, and that averages out to anywhere between 30 to 50. Is that a fair thing to say?
30 to 40, because a percentage of those are buyers.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 to 40. But door knocking in and of itself, in my opinion, is not the means to an end. It is the starting of relationships. And how many relationships can you keep new people on, keep your current people, keep in sync with them, and then do the business? And so door knocking is opportunity to meet, but then it leads to, will you come and look at my carpet? I'm thinking of changing. Paint samples, I'm not sure. We want to redo our kitchen. We're redoing paint. 20% of every day is people calling and asking my opinion on, we're thinking about doing this, we're thinking about doing that. What do you think? Can you weigh in? And that's what door knocking leads to. It leads to relationships.
So it's the beginning of a relationship,
Yes.
but you still have to cultivate that relationship and
That's
just
right.
be there.
And just
So-
be there.
So it'll highlight who you are. Your character will be, will come up to the surface. Your patience, your ability to listen.
Did you say patience?
Yeah. I mean, it will be tested, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying, just like in any relationship.
Sure.
But to make a relationship work, you have to spend time together. You have
That's
to be
right.
there. But this is the same for children. It's the same for marriage. It's the same for business and for business.
For everything.
So what you're saying is you started with the door knocking, and then you were there in the community helping people and just being there for people. And in addition to that, you're throwing events.
That's right.
So it's not, the events weren't the starting place.
No.
Okay, that's a good point.
No, because you have to have people to invite to your events.
Oh, I see.
That's relationship building.
I see.
And door knocking is one way to concentrate, because there's also a huge benefit to having saturation in an area. And so where you have signs visible to everyone around you, and that's the benefit of picking a geographic farm. Whereas if you're one in Studio City and one in Thousand Oaks and one in Camarillo and Valencia and Northridge, you don't have the same people looking at everything that you're doing.
I see.
And that's part of the momentum of farming and the beauty of it.
I push for door knocking a lot, but I think right now with what you just said, it just opened up my mind to door knocking isn't the means to the end.
No,
It's just the
introduction.
Yes. And it's just your foot in the door into that relationship. And then where are you going from there?
What do
know?
you got?
Yeah.
Like, what are you made out of? What are you going to do for me? Do you care? Are you in this just to get business? or are you in this because you're my neighbor and a nice person?
Yeah, I mean, this is, if you want to get to where you're at,
Yeah,
this is the roadmap.
that is the roadmap. It's
It's
a lot of
not-
blisters. It's a lot of blisters. It's a lot of heartache. It's a lot of rejection. It's a lot of growing and learning. Once you have been put in hundreds and hundreds of situations and you're comfortable with it, there's very few situations that I'm not comfortable in. Most of the time, I'm just comfortable. I'm relaxed in who I am. I'm confident in who I am because I've made thousands of mistakes, but I've learned from them. It's one thing to make a mistake. It's another thing to make the same mistakes over and over. No, I have to learn. I have to give myself a swift kick in the behind and say, oh, don't ever do that again. You know, lost listings because I literally forgot to call somebody back because I was with a client and I was so focused on this client.
Tell me that story. You've told it to me before, but
it's
tell it to me
brutal.
again. Yeah. Okay.
I had 3 listing appointments in one day. Dear Allan decided he was going to get me a new iPhone upgrade, and he switched my phone over and my calendar and my contacts and everything. I forgot I had 3 appointments that day. I knew very well that I had 2, and they're long. I mean, you're sitting down, you're hearing their life story, you're putting your plan together, you're trying to get your contract signed, and this person kept calling and calling and calling. Well, the number wasn't saved because the phone. Anyway, I said, I'm on my way. And she said, oh, no, you're not. She said, unless you have blood everywhere and your car is totaled, you don't need to come to my house. Oh, it's not the way I thought it was going to go. She was a sweet older lady, not so sweet. And I blew it.
Okay, so you're here. She just told you, like pretty
Yeah.
much told you, don't ever talk to me again on the phone.
That's right. That's right.
What did you do next?
I went to the office and I composed myself and I got my listing agreement. And I went to her house, knocked. You know, I was dressed really nice. I had heels on, like it's action time. She opened her door about 3 inches and I said, I am here to apologize. I said, I blew it. I said, no excuses. She doesn't care about my iPhone. If you're not organized enough to overcome that problem, then I probably don't want you. I said, I profusely apologize and I'm just asking, would you give me one more chance? Doors, like how about 4 inches of the door instead of 3? Slowly, she opened the door. We're just talking 10 inches. I didn't even have like a welcome. And I said, I would love to get to know you a little bit more. I'd love to earn your business. I made a mistake. It will never happen again. Well, eventually the door opened. She led me through. She still wasn't feeling warm and fuzzy for me because I didn't have blood on me and my car wasn't totaled. That was the only excuse that she would buy. And when we were leaving, I knew she's probably thinking, well, great, I've got the name of 10 agents, you know, I'm not going to stop with her. And I thought I have to find a way to connect. Like, what can I do? Her husband had recently passed away. And I looked up and her roof was filled with leaves. I mean, filled. Must have been a foot of leaves. And I said, you know, if those leaves stay up there when it rains, you're going to have a problem. She said, well, I don't have anybody to take them off. I go, I'll do it. I'll do it. She said, when? I said, right now. I flipped my heels off and I had nice clothes on. I didn't care. I was going to prove to her. I said, do you have a ladder? She goes, well, I don't know. We searched. I found a ladder. It wasn't a roof like this. It's, you know, like death-threatening steep. And I went up on that roof. And, I mean, it took me about a half hour. And I raked and I swept and I got them all down. I told her it was going to make a mess. And she looked up and she goes, oh, I guess you really are willing to do anything. I said, yes, I am. Listed, sold. She's given me referrals. And
Wow.
so it's owning it when you make a mistake. That has not happened since, by the way.
Staging with Sophia is run by my beautiful and amazing wife. Aside from being beautiful and amazing, she has a gift of hospitality. She's not a snobby creative that's gonna go into your properties and say, this is what we're gonna do. She's gonna listen to you. But if you say, I just want you to take care of everything, she definitely has the knowledge and the experience to be able to do that. She is the person that you definitely want as a part of your team. Specifically for someone that has 30 years in the business, that has 35 years in the business, what would your message to them, to like your peers be?
See your people. Go out, drop by, remember them, know what's important to them, and take action. Don't think that you're going to rest on your laurels because there's somebody nipping at your heels at any given moment that is younger and hungrier and willing to get up on that roof in their good clothes. So see your people and be really good at what you do. No, don't give up. Don't stop at mediocre. Try to deliver a product that's so above and beyond that people will say, if real estate's being talked about, you need to call my agent, Chris Williams. You need to call her because she will do anything for you. She is the best and she knows the market better than anybody else. And so you want to be that person, and you don't be that person sitting, watching TV at 7 o'clock at night. You're not that person if you're sleeping in. If you're not up and moving by 7 a.m., you've lost an hour already. Like, you have to seize your mornings. I was never a morning person, ever, never. Guess what? I'm a morning person now. Like, I automatically wake up about 5:15, and I'm stirring, I'm thinking, I'm asking God to guide me, lead me on my day. And by 6:15, I'm checking in with the people that I need to check in with, not clients, but other people. And I'm moving. The busy day is not for those that slumber. It is for those that get up and move and take action. And you'll be amazed at the end of the year. You know, if you called one client a day, every day, imagine how many connections that is.
This seems to be a common theme amongst top producing agents, a sense of guilt for not reaching out to past clients. It's like they know that they are leaving money on the table by not making those interactions. Like Chris said, you reach a point where you become so busy with the transactions that you forget or don't have time to do all the things that brought them to you in the first place. Well, since you're here watching this show, I want to encourage you, along with Chris, to do what you have set out to do. Don't rest on your laurels. She's right. There's always someone willing to make that phone call. So a few minutes later, Allan came back and started talking with us. I'm going to end this episode with something awesome that he said.
The drive to, no matter what she was doing, So whether she was water skiing, snow skiing, or selling real estate, it actually, she had a real passion. Passion comes from paseo, suffering. And when you say we have a passion for real estate, you have to have a suffering for it. Just like in your business, a paseo comes from the Greek word passion, to suffer. And so we suffer to make it the best, because you got to give it your best or it just isn't gonna, come to fruition. But she's very much a person she was, but of course she's much more. She's a woman of incredible expertise now. I mean, when she speaks with authority, without a doubt.
And it's so cool that you're saying that, Allan, because the way I see it is like she was already this amazing person, but real estate gave her a platform to just blossom in that and to give it a place to have greater impact, is what I'm trying to say.
That's right.
Buying a property in most cases is a person's biggest financial investment in their lives. So the realtor becomes one of the most trusted advisors to that family. The more that relationship grows, the more the realtor finds themselves being a marriage counselor, financial planner, an interior designer, a contractor, tax advisor. Wait, never mind, not that one. You get sued for that one. But you get my point. When we say the juice is worth the squeeze, it isn't only in finances, but realtors have the opportunity to help families leave a legacy. Realtors have the opportunity to bring families out of poverty. Realtors have the opportunity to bring stability into a household. It is a big deal. I think realtors are a big deal. This is why all the efforts that you go through to become the trusted realtor are worth it. The amount of impact a realtor can have upon a family and even the future generations is truly remarkable. Let's take these opportunities and make the world a better place. On the next episode of the Career Realtor, I go door knocking with the Aguilar brothers. They share their mindset as they push past limiting beliefs and doubt. If you've been thinking about going door knocking, you definitely have to watch this episode. Okay, so if you're still here watching me and you're listening to me, then you must have really liked this show because it's over and most people would have just exited. But if you got some value from this and you're like, wow, this is great, this is amazing, well, I want to start a community. You're probably if you're a realtor watching this, first of all, understand that when I say that I truly believe that realtors are heroes, I truly believe that. I believe that realtors have this unique ability to be able to impact people's lives. And so what I want to do is I want to create a community of heroes, of realtors. So right now, if you want to join this community, just type in Realtors Are Heroes, A-R-E, Realtors Are Heroes on Facebook. Find the community and join us, because a lot of the stuff that we talked about on the show, on this episode, we can go so much deeper. We can not only have masterminds, but we can explore these different topics and just share best practices. So there's so much that I want to do, guys. And so I'd love for you to join this community. I'd love for you to be a part of Realtors Are Heroes. Look, I will tell you this. I'm not trying to get you to switch brokerages. I'm not trying to get you to, I'm not trying to recruit you to anything other than, listen, there's a community of realtors and let's talk and let's share best practices and let's come together. You all are so special to me. You all are not only special to me, but you're special to your clients, man. You guys are such a big deal. I hope to continue talking to you, and I hope you join the community.